We have a fax from San Bernardino, and it's addressed to Graham and Harold. What percentage of your waste stream is commercial, and what advice do you have for a jurisdiction with 65 to 70% of their waste stream coming from the commercial sector?
Okay, I'll take that first. Well, we're one of those communities where 2/3 of our waste is actually generated from the commercial side. And for example, right now, we are diverting more than 51% of our residential waste. Now, on the commercial side, it's a different story. We are diverting a lot of material, but it's not through city-initiated programs. It's done based upon the dollar. The dollar drives the force in the private sector. And one of the things that we do is to try and create an environment that's conducive in a win-win situation. And what I mean by that is, one, win-win. Win for the hauler, win for the business. The hauler, our rate's kind of broken down into 3 different sectors. One is there's a base rate that the hauler gets for hauling the material, and then there's the disposal component, and then there's the city's franchise fee. So what our city council has done basically is that we've said that the hauler can provide a recycling container to a business and not pay franchise fees for it, and the business doesn't have to pay the disposal component because the material is going to be recycled. Now that's in the worst case scenario. Now in an ideal situation, the material that's being put in the bin for recycling would cover the entire cost of the overall program. But that doesn't work out in most cases. But if you're a business and you have the option of paying $95 for a 3 cubic yard container, or getting a recycling container and paying $60, then there's an incentive for the business to recycle, and it also doesn't hurt the private hauler because they're getting their base collection rate. So it's a win-win situation.
Very good.
I couldn't agree more. In Thousand Oaks, in excess of 50% of our waste stream does come from the commercial sector. An important part of that whole program in terms of recovery has to do with the hauler providing incentives. They need to have an incentive to go into the business. But as Harold said, the business has to have an incentive to work with the contractor. And the bottom line is what comes into play most. Having space limitations and priorities in place, it's been very difficult, and it's a program that, to be honest, we have an area to expand on within the business community. We focus almost all of our time on residential, and so the business community is next.
Okay, we're running out of time, but I want to see if we can squeeze a few more questions in. This one's again for Harold Duffy. Please elaborate or explain the $75,000 credit from the California Waste Management Board.
Okay, well, part of my responsibilities in terms of when AB 939 was passed was I worked for the county of San Bernardino, and I was the legislative analyst to examine AB 939. And so immediately after months and months of looking at the Integrated Waste Management Act, it was determined that if you could prove to the state that several things happened, you could apply for an inner credit. For example, the city of Riverside currently takes all of the road-based material that we put in new surface, and we grind that up and put that back in for road-based, and then put for new asphalt. Before, that material used to go to the landfill, but when the state of California engineering specs changed that allowed cities to do that, we changed our specs to do the same thing. The county assisted us by simply doing one thing. For concrete and asphalt material, it used to go to the landfill, but the county initiated a hard-to-handle fee, where the fee used to be $30 a ton. The county rose the fee to about $75 a ton. Well, what happened was that allowed other private sectors to generate a new business to come in and have a concrete asphalt recycling plant, and they would charge $30. So there again, the dollar comes into play, and the businesses will actually do the right thing when it's the right thing for their business, for their bottom line also.
We've got another call on the line. This one comes from De Niro. Hi, can you hear us? Hello? Oh, more feedback. I hope you don't have your program turned up. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, can you give us your name and your question?
Question. I wanted to order one of the channels.
You want to order one of the channels?
Yes. Is this the wrong phone number?
Yes. But thanks for the call. Gee, we don't know anything about that. We know all about trash here, but so we can't help you with that channel problem. We have a question here for Bob. How do you market your materials from a rural area so far from cities? And that's from Marion Riverside.
Yeah, well, the marketing of materials for a rural area that's quite a ways from the market is difficult. At the current time, the curbside materials are hauled to a processor in the Bay Area, and I don't have specific numbers because it's the numbers of the contractor, but I know that when the materials recovery facility that is in the plans right now to be constructed at the landfill site is in operation, we're hoping for July 2000, that the materials will then be sorted, processed, and packaged for shipment at that point, and I believe that's going to help the market a lot for the contractor.
Okay, we have just 1 minute left. I want to get one more quick question in. It's from Brandy in El Monte for Harold or Graham. Considering the low tipping fees in Southern California, how have you created incentives for businesses to implement recycling and waste reduction programs? Graham, why don't you give it a shot?
Well, some of our incentives really have to do with just the actual cost of service. So we provided a recognition to businesses. We've reduced the cost of recycling bin versus a trash bin, and we've done what we can to address some of the more practical needs or challenges within each business. And certainly working with a public landfill certainly has made that helpful, and certainly with the County of Ventura as opposed to working with a private firm, which is more profit-based.
Okay, really good. Thank you, panel, for your great answers, and thank you for contributing so many good questions. We would now like to conclude our workshop with a few closing thoughts from State Senator Byron Scher.
Local governments are not able to meet the 50% diversion goal this year. Do you think they should be fined next year?
That's the wrong focus for their attention. Based on the experience in the first 10 years, the Integrated Waste Management Board is not out there to fine people. They want to work with people to get them to reach these goals. So they, instead of focusing on the threat of fines, just keep doing what they're doing, keep using their best efforts. If they do everything that's feasible to divert their materials away from the landfill, they don't have any worries about fines.
Thank you, Senator, for those hopeful words. I hope everyone took good notes today. In addition to today's activities, a series of 24 case studies and profiles will be copied on a read-only CD-ROM. That information will be available to anyone who attended today and registered. The CD will be mailed free as soon as it is available. The case studies will also be posted on the board's website by late May in a downloadable format. The board has also arranged for this entire show to be viewed online via video streaming. Finally, a training tape that includes excerpts from today's broadcast will be available. And for more information on that, you can check out the board's website. You'll find it at www.ciwmb.ca.gov. If you have any questions that didn't get addressed today, please write or call the board's Office of Local Assistance at 8800 Cal Center Drive in Sacramento, California, the zip code 95826, or you can phone them at 916-255-2555, or again, visit their website. All right, that is it, folks. Before you go, please fill out the evaluation form and leave it at the back of the room. It will be very helpful for us to know whether this was useful for you or not. And remember, we've seen that communities have already made it to 50%, so you can do it too. You've got a lot of friends and resources to draw on, so just keep trying and you'll make it. Thank you for joining us today.